the thing when I first met you, you kept talking about this idea of being, you called yourself, it was Fat Man to Ironman. You did it at the intro then. And, you know, the joke, I don't know if you mind me saying it, when I met you, I remember I said, like, I didn't take you seriously for the first 8 weeks when we were like working together until I found out that you had done all of these incredible achievements. And I would love to talk a bit about Ironman, like doing an Ironman and how that transitioned over to being an ultra runner. Because to me, when I first got into this, working with you, I didn't really know the difference. And there's obviously a huge difference from like seeing your guests and seeing where the show's gone. So I'd love to know, like we dive into your idea of how you got into Ironman running, Ironman, and all of that. I mean, wrote something here. It's like 4 miles of swimming. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then the transition over.
Yeah, I think you know, just to answer that really basic, was that I ended up doing an Ironman because it was basically the natural next step on a long line of steps that I got to from sort of starting my running journey. I kind of skipped the whole process. People talk about couch to 5K, you know, you'll be familiar with that. And I think rather than doing that, I didn't do a 5K and I didn't do a 10K. I went straight into doing this half marathon. This idea of, back then when I did it, it was probably quite a big thing. I think, unfortunately, you know, credit where credit's due for anyone who does a half marathon. But right now in the world of running, it's not really seen as a biggie anymore. It's more seen like a 10K used to be seen, is now a half marathon. And then the next step kind of came, and you talk about going up to marathon level and blah, 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 blah. And I was very involved at the gym that I used to work at, was a host for the Cambridge Triathlon Club. And I started to do some work with them with their strength and conditioning work as a PT. And obviously you're kind of in and around those people, and they're like, oh, go on, give a little triathlon a go. So rather than give a little triathlon a go, I gave an Olympic distance triathlon a go, rather than a sprint or anything like that. So that then sort of led to that. Then it moved on to the marathon in running. Then it moved on to the 70.3, which is the half Ironman. And then just when we reached 2015, that was that natural progression for me. So I kind of jumped up step by step, but kind of missed the first few steps in all of the journey, which don't quote me. And I'll, you know, all the listeners, I've reserve the right to definitely withdraw this statement, but I kind of wanted to jump there because I was a bit of a junkie for how it made you feel to go long and go quite hard. Hence the sort of 2.4 mile swim, 112 mile bike ride, and then the marathon. So there I was. And that's kind of how I went from, that's a very brief overview of going from the Fat Man to Ironman.